All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call the January 8th, 2024 New Jersey Water Supply Authority Board meeting to order. Ms. Hunt, could you please read the Open Public Meeting Act?
Yes, in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting has been published in designated newspapers, including the time, date, and location. Notice and the agenda of this meeting have also been provided on the authority's website and are posted in a prominent location in the authority's headquarters.
Thank you. Mark, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Acting Chair O'Foolery,
Here.
Commissioner Blue,
Here.
Commissioner Pico,
Here.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Here.
Commissioner Havens.
Here.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, so this is a reminder that there will be a chance for public comment towards the end of the meeting. I would ask members of the public to put their phones on mute until that time, if we have any. Okay, so for the approval of the November 6th, 2023 minutes, are there any comments on the November 6th, 2023 minutes? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the November 6th, 2023 minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second? Thank you. I would like to request a roll to call for vote.
Acting Chair O'Foolery,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
Yes.
Thanks. Mark, could you give the executive director's report, please?
Yes, good afternoon. You all have my report. I'm pleased to announce again that the Authority Finance Department has received a certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. In Clinton, December precipitation was 9.83 inches, more than 6 inches above average. We had 2 events in December that were widespread and exceeded 3 inches. The second of those 2, on December 17th, created significant flooding along the Millstone and Raritan. Those high river events along the Millstone and Raritan typically have significant effects on the canal. Praise should be given to our canal operations staff and engineering staff members who were vigilant through the event. The most vulnerable location for that event was the construction site at 6 Mile Run Culvert, where the roadway excavation over the culvert was open. The river rose and flooded the entire project site. It compromised their temporary cofferdam and created a vulnerability when the waters receded. Authority staff worked with the contractor to reduce the risks as much as possible. Ultimately, we made it through the storm. The contractor has been able now to make a significant concrete pour, or several of them, which have greatly reduced the inherent risk associated with the site, which was then in a vulnerable state. That's a good thing because we're expecting another significant rain event that will likely again cause the major flooding on the Millstone and the Raritan this week. Rain Tuesday, flooding Wednesday, Thursday. Pumping to Round Valley initiated in mid-November. That's the good thing about the rain, right? After a slow start in November, we've had substantial rain that has facilitated efficient pumping operations. As of this morning, a total of 1.8 billion gallons have been pumped to the Round Valley, and the pool has increased by over 3 feet. Spruce Run reservoir storage level has not dipped below 94% all summer and until now, and right now is at 100.7% capacity as of this morning. As of this morning, the combined storage for Round Valley and Spruce Run was 76.5% of capacity, compared to a combined historic average storage of 89.1% for today's date. Manasquan reservoir storage level as of this morning is 88.5%. Darren will talk about the emergency procurements for the sinkhole and the construction that will correct the seepage through the canal earthen embankment in Hopewell Township, Mercer County. I'd also like to announce that Michelle Rollman has been promoted within the authority. Her previous position has been filled by another internal promotion, Ms. Robin Gregg. They're both here. I hope you all join me in wishing Michelle success in her new job and welcoming Robin to her new position, which includes the board meeting organizational tasks that Michelle has handled so professionally and efficiently. I'm confident that each of them will continue to excel in their new positions here at the authority. Any other questions?
Congratulations to you both.
Congratulations. Thanks. Moving on. Mark, are there any communication or correspondence to report to the board this month?
There are none.
Okay, to unfinished business. Mark, could you please have your staff report on your system? First, Manasquan Reservoir System and Manasquan Water Treatment Plant Transmission System. Background, please.
Yes, Paul
The
McKeon,
report.
please.
Good afternoon. As Mark said, the reservoir is at about 88%, which is very good shape for this time of year. We also have experienced significant rain towards the end of the year. In fact, for the year of 2023, we had 58 inches in this area, which is well above the normal of around 44 to 46 inches. So we have had some, that presents some issues from time to time treating the water at the water treatment plant, but we've been able to switch to the reservoir source and avoid the turbid river water when the river was quite high after a couple of those same events Mark was talking about. So it's been good. Everything's been relatively quiet here, and nothing else to report that's not in my written report, but I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Next is the Raritan Basin System.
Darren Schaefer.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry. You all have my report on the Raritan Basin system. The basin continues to be in good shape for this time of year. Spruce Run is full and releases are minimal. Round Valley, as noted, has risen a little more than 3 feet from the construction pool, and pumping is ongoing with favorable river conditions. The canal operations are currently normal, though, as Mark noted, some recent rain events have caused flooding and the associated minor damages that staff were able to respond to promptly and correct. We are prepared for potential more flooding in the coming week, as Mark noted. The emergency repairs to the Ukrainian church culvert on the canal were fully completed in November, and that work was done without any surprises or unexpected conditions. So that's been restored. To give you an update on the emergency repairs to the sinkhole and the leak that developed in the canal embankment near the Workhouse Spillway in Hopewell Township, authority staff continue to monitor that site at least once per day. Some changes in the embankment have been observed, but none have altered the authority's course of action. We are proceeding with installing a steel sheet pile cutoff wall in the embankment. All required permits and bid documents for installing the cutoff wall were acquired in December. And in accordance with the Capital Project Committee approval for this emergency, an invitation for bid was direct mailed to 4 contractors that were known to us and known to be capable of the proposed work. 3 of those contractors attended a pre-bid meeting and subsequently submitted their bids on January 3rd. A low bid of $598,000 was consistent with the engineer's estimates. We're working to get that contract executed and the work started as soon as possible. A memo and resolution is included in this month's board package to ratify the actions of the executive director with respect to executing the professional services contract for the design of these repairs, and a subsequent memo and resolution will be prepared for the construction portion once that contract has been finalized. Some capital projects updates. At the Round Valley project, the extensive work needed to restore all the project areas is on hold due to winter weather conditions. Site maintenance and some ancillary work, such as the tower crane replacement, is expected to continue through the winter. And then in the spring, the contractor will continue with the restoration work. Contractor is currently projecting that final completion of the project will be achieved this summer. The South Branch Pump Station pump rehabilitation. The contractor is currently repairing and refurbishing the 4 pump and motor assemblies in their shop. Staff and our engineering consultant visited the contractor's shop in December. They were able to review the condition of the equipment in a disassembled state. The contractor is also working on submittals for installing the new base plates on which they will install the refurbished pump assemblies. 6 Mile Run culvert rehabilitation has progressed with some notable challenges. The interior of the culverts has been completely repointed. They began work on the exterior of those same culverts, but heavy rain in December flooded the construction site, as Mark noted. We were able to minimize the impacts through our actions and the actions of the contractor. Following that high water event, the contractor was able to complete the excavation to the top of the culverts, complete the improvements to the exterior of those culverts. They completed the clay liner repair in the canal and reconstructed the road, thereby eliminating the job's greatest vulnerabilities. Remaining work includes removal of the porta-dam and the false work inside the culverts, as well as some stone masonry repairs at the culvert outlet. The Western Canal embankment rehabilitation in Stockton. These improvements to about a mile of the canal embankment kicked off in August, and the contractor made steady progress until early December, when they decided to partially demobilize for the winter. Stone armoring restoration is complete. The crest restoration is about 75% complete, and the embankment slope regrading is fully completed. About half of this slope has established grass cover, but the remainder of the embankment slope was seeded late in the season and will need to be reseeded in the spring. The contractor plans to return in early spring to complete that work and some punch list items. The Spruce Run foundation grouting. The design engineer has developed a near final set of plans and specifications, and these documents have been reviewed by authority staff and the technical review board. It is anticipated that this project will be financed through the iBank. An application has been made to start that review process. The New Jersey Dam Safety Permit Review is also underway. A bid package will be ready for advertisement as soon as the financing and permitting approvals are received, and that's expected in the first quarter of this year. That's all the updates I have, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
If there are no questions, we'll move on to Watershed Protection Program.
Ken Clipstein?
Sorry not to be with you in person, but and I have nothing to add to my written report, but would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. We move to new business. The first is unedited financial statement, 3 months ending October 30th, 2023. Background, please.
Yeah, Rita Shaw, our controller, will read that.
Good afternoon. I'm presenting the unaudited financial statements for the 3 months ending September 30th, 2023. Bond resolution requires the authority to prepare and distribute unaudited financial statements to interested parties within 45 days of the end of each quarter. Unfortunately, due to the late release of other post-employment benefits data from the state of New Jersey, we were unable to comply with this requirement. The financial statements have been distributed to all interested parties and are available on the authority's website. The financial statements show favorable results of operation for the 3 months ending September 30th, 2023. There is net income of $3.8 million compared to $3.7 million for the same period last year. The change in net income is largely due to a decrease in overdraft revenue. Operating expenses at September 30th, 2023 totaling $6.3 million are in line with the budget at 23.4% of the total budgeted expense for the fiscal year and are 1.7% higher than the same time last fiscal year. Non-operating revenue at September 30th, 2023 increased by 50.9% to $1.3 million due to an increase in interest income offset by a decrease in grant revenue and other income. I will be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, no board action is required here, so I'll move to the next one. A resolution authorizing the award of a contract to conduct the annual fiscal audit for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. Background, please.
Yes, Commissioner Pico, is that?
Oh. Fair enough. The Governor's Executive Order 122 and our own bylaws and the implementing statute require the audit committee to review contracts for the performance of audits of the authority. We are now in the third year of a contract with the Mercadian Group. Their cycle is every 5 years, according to the executive order. Our first year of this cycle had a fee of $57,975. There was a slight increase in the next year, and for the current year, they're proposing $61,500, which is a 2.5% increase. Staff has reviewed this with the audit committee, and the audit committee discussed and recommends that the board approve the hiring of Mercadian to implement the FY 2024 audit.
Are there any questions? I ask for a motion to move the resolution.
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Good. I'd like to request a roll call for vote on this motion.
That's Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
Yes.
Next is resolution approving the annual report of the New Jersey Water Supply Authority for 2023. Background, please.
Susan Buckley, provide that background.
Good afternoon. The authority publishes its annual report each year in compliance with the authority's enabling legislation and Executive Order 37. A draft copy of the annual report with all required elements has been included in your board packages. Upon board approval, the annual report will be posted on the authority's website and notice will be sent to required parties. The authority recommends approval of the annual report. A resolution has been prepared for consideration.
Are there any questions? I ask for a motion to move the resolution.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Good. I'd like to request a roll call for vote on this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is a resolution accepting the collective bargaining agreement between the State of New Jersey and the International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers, IFPTE, for the period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2027. Background, please.
Susan again, please.
The authority has typically accepted negotiated union and union ratified labor contracts by board vote. In November, the state of New Jersey and the IFTB union ratified a contract covering the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2027. The contract covers approximately 59 of the authority's maintenance, service and craft and security employees. The terms of the agreement listed in your board packages are similar to those of the CWA contract that the board previously approved this year. A resolution to accept the agreement between the state of New Jersey and the IFP has been prepared for your consideration.
Are there any questions? Okay, I ask for a motion to move the resolution and a second.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Thank you. I'd like to request a roll call for vote on this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
yes.
Thank you. Next, resolution accepting the collective bargaining agreement between the State of New Jersey and the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 30 State Government Managers Union, IBEW, for the period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2027. Background, please.
Susan again?
The authority has typically accepted negotiated and union ratified labor contracts by board vote. In December, the state of New Jersey and the IBEW union ratified a contract covering the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2027. The IBEW contract covers 4 of the authority's middle management employees. The terms of the agreement listed in your board packages are similar to those of the CWA contract that the board previously approved. A resolution to accept the agreement between the state of New Jersey and the IBEW has been prepared for your consideration.
Are there any questions? Okay, I ask for a motion to move the resolution and a second.
So moved.
Whatever works for you. It's definitely good.
Second,
Second.
Thank you. I'd like to request a roll call for vote on this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
yes.
Next is resolution authorizing execution of a DNR Canal Transmission Complex Utility Lease Agreement with PSE&G for operation of 2 gas pipelines, 16-inch and 12-inch, under the DNR Canal in the Township of Lawrence, Mercer County, PSEG 21. Background, please.
Yes, Julie Shelley?
Good afternoon. On September 19th, 1947, the authority's predecessor granted Public Service Electric and Gas Company a permit for construction of a gas main crossing under the canal in Lawrence Township, Mercer County, near Route 1. Review of authority files, as well as those maintained by the NJDEP, revealed that there was no lease or revenue collected for this crossing of the canal. Pipeline facilities have been in service since the late 1940s. Through this lease, PSE&G will formalize permission to lease 4,265 square feet of state property administered by the authority as described above, designated as a portion of block 4001 lot 28 on the tax map of the Township of Lawrence, Mercer County, to operate and maintain the pipeline facilities, which include a 16 and 12-inch pipeline under the property for a term of 20 years at an annual total lease payment of $1,540. An appropriate resolution is included for your consideration.
Are there any questions? I ask for motion to move the resolution and a second.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
I'd like to request a roll call for vote on this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is a resolution ratifying the actions of the Executive Director in executing a contract for emergency professional engineering services required to design a steel sheeting cut-off in the Delaware and Raritan Canal embankment near Station 505+35, Hopewell Township, Mercer County. WSA-C24010. Background, please.
Darren, please.
A large leak and sinkhole in the canal embankment in Hopewell Township, Mercer County, were first observed on October 4th. The executive director certified that the situation represented an emergency condition, and with approval of the Capital Project Committee, proceeded with a modified procurement process for both design and construction services. The authority solicited quotes for professional services from 3 firms to design a steel sheet pile cutoff wall. All 3 firms submitted quotes, and they were reviewed based on cost plus other factors. All 3 firms proposed a qualified team to perform the work, but the firm with the lowest costs also proposed the shortest schedule to develop a bid package. On this basis, the executive director executed a contract with Mott McDonald to design the repair. That contract totaled $65,000, including up to $10,000 for support as needed during construction. Authority staff obtained the necessary permits as the design progressed, and the plans and permits were finalized in mid-December. As noted earlier, bidding for the construction is complete, but a contract has not yet been executed. A resolution ratifying the actions of the executive director to procure the design services using the modified approach approved by the Capital Projects Committee due to the emergency condition has been prepared for your consideration.
Are there any questions? I ask for motion to move the resolution and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I would like to request a roll call for vote on this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
Yes.
So there is a need for an executive session to discuss personnel matters, and the resolution is concerning the announcement of a closed meeting to discuss personnel matters. So Ms. DAG Catherine Hunt, I ask you to read the statement for executive session.
Yes, the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12B, allows a public body to hold a closed session when it is dealing with certain subject area exemptions from the Act. The authority will go into closed session to discuss personnel matters. Notice of this public meeting has been given, and to close the session, the authority must adopt a resolution in open session to adjourn into executive session. No action will be taken in executive session. Any formal action as a result of this session will be taken in open session. Thank you.
So I ask for motion and a second to convene in an executive session.
So moved. Second.
Good. So when the executive session begins, meeting attendees on Teams who will not participate in the executive session will be moved to a private waiting room for the duration of the session. Attendees who will participate in the executive session will stay in the main area of the meeting to complete the session. When the session is concluded, The attendees in the private waiting room will be brought back into the main meeting.
Linda, we need to vote before we go in. I forgot.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't in the script, so.
Okay, all right.
What's that?
They did just vote.
They just.
I would like to
need a second, right?
We did.
Oh.
We did.
I'll
We need
second
to
it.
vote.
if you need.
I thought we
You did.
did vote.
You did a motion and a second. I didn't do a
Yes.
roll.
Okay.
So acting Sheriff Horry,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the next is the resolution concerning the compensation of the executive director. Background, please.
Susan, Blue, are you
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
offer?
Yeah, I could do it. Okay. So we have a resolution that would raise the executive director's salary from $163,800 to $171,580. That would be effective January 1st, 2024.
I ask for a motion to move the resolution and a second.
So moved.
Second.
And I request a roll call for vote.
Acting Sheriff Horry,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico.
Yes.
Excuse me, Ms. Rollman, before we adjourn, was the public invited back in?
Yes, they were.
Good.
Yes, they were.
Okay.
We were able to get back in, the people who were in that meeting room.
All right, I'm just not
It-
seeing more people in
Okay.
here.
Yeah, Ms. Wilton had to redial back in, and we had to contact her, but we were able to get, she was able to get back in.
Okay,
And there were, the only other person in that waiting room was Paul McKeon.
okay, so maybe others just left the meeting?
Yes, correct.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. So is Mark coming back now? Oh, okay. All right. The next item on the agenda is the authority committee reports. Mark, are there any committee reports?
There are none.
Thank you. So now it's time for public comments. Any members of the public wishing to speak should please state their full name and affiliation clearly for the record. Any? I guess not. So I'm moving on. We've gone through all the items on the agenda and I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor to say aye.
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 And thank you all. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Aye.
She's like a fly.